everyone, welcome to another speech and language lesson. Today for this week we're going to be talking about following directions, and this is a really universal skill for my students working on language as well as speech sounds. It's really functional for the classroom and real life, so this is probably something we're going to revisit in a few weeks as well. Two of the things I want to talk about are things that make following directions more challenging, which is temporal concepts or time, and then spatial concepts, which are our prepositions. So first we're going to talk about our temporal concepts, and I have attached this visual in the email as well, and I'm going to show it to you now. We have before and then we have after. So let's talk about before first. So there's two ways you can use before, and for before and after, one of the ways is where you're doing the action, you're doing the first action first and the second action second, and then the other way is when it's reversed. So I'm going to come down here to our second bullet point first to show you, because that one is a little bit more straightforward. Do one before you do two. That one is pretty straightforward. So if I said draw a circle before you draw a triangle, it's exactly in order. So I'm going to draw a circle, and then I'm going to draw a triangle. They're in sequential order already. For the second one, it's in reverse order. So it says before you do two, do one. And now the order is flipped. So for example, if I said before you draw a square, draw a circle, what I'm saying is before you draw the square, which is number 2, I want you to draw a circle. So I really want you to draw the circle first and then draw the square. Drawing my circle and then drawing my square. I did circle first and then square. So use this visual if you're ever doing following directions that have these phrases in them, because you can plug them in. So if I said before, what did I say? Before you draw the square, draw the circle, the numbers tell you which one I want you to do first. So circle was first and then square. Let's look at after. And after is just the opposite of before. And just like that, just like before, one of the ways we look at it is in sequential order, and then one is reversed. So for the first one, it says after you do one, do two. And this one is pretty straightforward. I could say after, I should do something besides a circle. After you draw a smiley face, draw the sun. Okay, well that's right in order, so I'm going to draw my smiley face, and I'm going to draw a terrible sun. So it's in order. I want you to do one before you do two, directly in order. The other one is the opposite. So I want you to do two after you do one, okay? So, and again, these are more challenging. You have to keep the whole sentence in your head and think about reversing the order before you actually do the action. So do two after you do one. For example, I could say, I'm going back to my circles. Draw a circle after you draw a square. That means I want you to do the square first. Draw your square and then the circle. Okay, so with the worksheet that I've attached, use this visual to help you. Use the numbers to help you figure out which one I want you to do first and which one I want you to do second. Our second concept here are our prepositions, and those are our location words. So I'm going to briefly go over these. I'm going to show you with real objects, and this is something we do a lot in speech. It's often when we're asking a where question or answering a where question and following directions. And using these special location words can be challenging, and sometimes we can get them mixed up. So I'm going to go over these. So I'm going to start with between, and the visual here is the if you give a mouse a cookie, mouse. So it's the little mouse, and he's showing these actions, and I'm going to use those as I show you. So first is between. So I have the clothespin in between my two markers. It's in the middle. That's another term we use. So here's between. We have, let me move this so I can look at the visual at the same time. We have in front. So here I have the clothespin in front of the marker. Okay, so in front. Behind is behind it, or in back. Sometimes that's something we often also say. So in back, in front, and in back. Under is underneath, right? Under the marker. And then over, so something my students often confuse is over and on. So over is like on top, but it's not touching the object. Or if we're doing a drawing, I'm not drawing something directly on the other object. It's over. There's a little bit of space over, and then here is on. So on is actually touching. So make sure we know the difference. Over and then on, or on top, we're often saying. Let's see, we have next to. So next to can be on either side, okay? Next to is on the side, okay? And then we went over on. I have to do in. I'm finding, we'll do tape. So in is inside. So actually all the way in. Whoops. Sometimes in can be shown kind of in front, like if there's nowhere to put it in. When we're doing a writing activity like the one I attached, we're often not drawing in. That has more to do with actual objects. And then out can just be, the opposite of in is out. We would probably more often call this in front, but you can also say out. So use these concepts as you complete the worksheet I attached. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I look forward to speaking with you next week. Thank you.